Hello, my name is Alec Collie. I am Head of Medical at Wesleyan Financial Services.
And I'm Jonathan Halberda. I'm one of the Specialist Financial Advisors.
We're here to talk about the spring budget of 2023. So, Jonathan, big news today with the budget. What were your big takeaways and highlights?
Well, overall, positive for ourselves. We've been saying it for many, many years, but some of the changes that have actually been introduced or going to be introduced by the government are going to be a positive step change overall for our clients.
I think one big takeaway was the abolishment of lifetime allowance. I know that in the newspapers and the media there was 1.5 million mentioned, 1.8 million. What's your view around abolishing lifetime allowance?
Yeah, I think it's an interesting step by the government to take, but equally a positive change for all of our guys. You know, when we think about the protections that were introduced previously, and now we've come to the point where they've realised that everything's getting more expensive, pensions are growing further, the abolishment can only help.
Yeah. One thing around lifetime allowance, though, was the pension commencement lump sum that our clients are entitled to. Is there any facts and figures about what that looks like now in terms of how much you can get from a pension commencement lump sum? Because that was linked to lifetime allowance before, wasn't it?
That's correct, yeah. So before there was a limit of 25% of the existing LTA. That's now changed where there's still the limit is in place for the 268,000. However, it's not going to increase with the abolishment of the lifetime allowance.
So that stays as it is. The current rules, either your own personal lifetime allowance or what it is. Okay, yeah. Super. Yeah. The other big change was around annual allowance as well, moving from 40 up to 60,000. I think that's quite a significant change and will help a lot of our clients. What's your thoughts around that?
Yeah, it's been an interesting change, but equally, it's put it now to a certain level where a big bulk of our clients should not be effective. So we're talking about certain income levels and things like that. The 60,000 now, that's quite a big step change. So hopefully we're going to see a lot of people fall underneath that potential breach element of the annual allowance, hopefully avoiding further tax charges.
And can you give us an idea about what that income level would have to be to try and get to £60,000 annual allowance?
It's in the circa region of 200, but obviously there are other income factors, as we know, in terms of the calculations with adjusted and thresholds and so on and so forth.
That's quite a significant change to our clients. It'll take most people out of that annual allowance threshold or issue, wouldn't it?
Effectively, yes. Yeah, in short, which is a great outcome for our clients.
Some of our higher earning clients, though, were affected by a thing called tapered annual allowance, and there was various income thresholds. What's happened to them?
Yeah, so effectively the income thresholds have now actually increased.
Okay.
So before they were able to be tapered down to 4,000, which is significantly lower than the 40, which is where it is at the moment. That's now actually going to increase to 10,000. So the minimum annual allowance after being tapered would be 10,000, which again is a positive change.
Yeah. And has the threshold also been increased then in terms of when that kicks in?
Correct, yeah. So that's gone up in terms of the amount from 240 up to 260,000, and that's on the adjusted income.
Okay, so some quite significant pension changes that the government's made with this budget, which I think will help most of our medical, dental and education clients.
Absolutely, and I think from this, what we need to take, and the fact of the matter is, there's going to be certain changes now that our clients need to address, consider certain factors that are going to change in their lifestyles, whether they continue to work or not, and retire early. All of these sort of questions will be posed, and that's where hopefully some good sound financial advice from their specialist financial advisors will help. And
one thing that makes me consider is over the last number of years we have as an organisation, as a society, very much said for people to stay in the NHS Pension Scheme. It is the best pension scheme, I think, in the UK and in Europe anyway. I can't think of any other ones. There'll be lots of clients who have left the NHS Pension Scheme. Do you think this move by the government will change or people should reconsider thinking about moving back in?
Well, there's certainly going to be some questions posed for a lot of people who have recently come out, and certainly if they're considering coming out, what I would certainly say is seek that financial advice, understand the implications, the benefits and drawbacks of both scenarios, and then take it from there.
One other change that they made, Jonathan, was to the money purchase annual allowance. So this is where someone who has already retired, for example, who have already drawn down on a defined contribution type scheme, has started taking their pension, basically. Before the restriction was £4,000, that's increased as well.
Yeah, correct, yeah. So it's increased from 4 to 10,000, which therefore means the guys have got the opportunity now to still recontribute back into a scheme, depending on their circumstances, if they're taking a pension income and still earning income as well. So yeah, another positive change for hopefully our pensioners to be able to generate some more income, or at least help for a more sustainable lifestyle in retirement.
And also we'll be encouraging clients to come back to work as well. So those who might have actually left one of the professions that we serve might also want to then come back and also be entitled to then start putting more money back into a pension again.
Absolutely, and it just creates another string to the bow for our clients when they're considering if they're coming back into certain professions, part-time, full-time, etc. So again, only a positive change for us. Hope you found that of use today. If you'd like to speak to one of our specialist financial advisors, please go to wesleyan.co.uk.